Broadcasting from the Vancouver Convention Center in British Columbia, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2022, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software.
I'm Doug Atkinson, and we're here at the FME User Conference 2022 in Vancouver, British Columbia, and we are joined by a partner of Safe Software, Vicrea Solutions. I'm not great with Dutch names, so I'm going to let you introduce yourselves.
I am Marie-Rosanne. I'm the Customer Success Manager at Vicrea.
Welcome.
All right. I'm Oscar Willems. I'm the data engineer, basically the technical specialist in FME.
Thank you for helping me out with that. I would have struggled, so I appreciate that. We have been talking to a lot of partners, and the thing that we're hearing over and over again about partners using FME, particularly in Europe, is the success that you're having with spatial data opportunities, particularly in governments.
Yeah.
Before we get into all that, because I think I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that, Oscar, tell me a little bit about Vicrea Solutions and how long you've been a partner and where you've kind of taken that partnership.
Yeah, so we've been a partner for over 20 years, and we are a software company that also resells FME and is a partner in that. And back in the day, we built software for municipalities to register their geospatial assets, and to get all those local systems back in the day into one big system, we used FME to do that. So with our software, we also sold FME. So all our municipal governments, they had FME, started using them, and that's basically where we started to become big, provide them with stuff. And FME was at every municipality, so we had almost all municipalities had FME back in the day.
And so now you're working with customers, you're the customer success manager, so I'm curious what you're finding in terms of where folks are really extracting the value out of FME in the customer base that you have.
The value of FME is, of course, it's excellent in the support of data, of spatial data, and because we're a company in geo solutions, we have a lot of customers that work with spatial data, but also there are every year there are all new. Oh my God. They're adding all these new features to the software, so it develops very quickly, and also the community, I think it has a lot of value.
Yeah, the community has been a big story here. Yeah. And you guys are a part of the community, and ultimately you're presenting here at the show.
Yes. Yeah.
Both of you.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, Oscar, what are you presenting?
Well, I'm presenting the technical side of what we're doing, and I'm presenting a project that I did for a large utility company, where they had this linked data, this graph data that needed to be processed. Typical ETL challenge: I have a container, sent into 3 different systems, each part of the container, documents, models, and attributes. But I used a different format than what we're used to, not a table, but something else. So I'm going to give a presentation on the challenges that we had with those kind of formats, fundamentally different kinds of data. And I'll take people on a ride on what I encountered, what I fixed, what I did.
And so you've really you're pioneering a new solution, effectively, or a new
format.
A new format.
So it's a new kind of database, which is connecting databases together rather than having a single silo. So it's fundamentally different technology.
Yeah, no, I think this is again what we've been hearing is how the user community and the partner community are taking the technology and really kind of pushing it out into places that Safe Software, I don't even think, knew it was going to go. So well done with regard to that.
We're partnering with Safe Software to get it supported, so that's nice.
Yeah, excellent. And so tell me a little bit about what you're going to be presenting.
I'm going to tell something about the added value of FME in data-driven decision making. and also in the whole enterprise. So it's not only about spatial data. And I'm going to present some customer stories.
Excellent.
About how our customers use FME.
And so, how long have you been working with customers at Vicrea?
4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yeah.
So all the way through the pandemic, and
Yes. Yeah. We
a lot of changes.
Yeah.
In the way you've done the work, or has it been similar? Were you kind of doing a lot of remote?
Yeah, we did everything remote, but
so that's good. So you were able to adapt easily.
We adapted very quickly. Everybody had their own laptop, so we just started working from home, and also the customers. I think maybe it took a month or something to adjust, but went very quickly and easy. Yeah.
And so, what are some of the other things that you're bringing to customers in your portfolio? Training?
Yeah.
Is it?
So I'm both a trainer, a developer where I build stuff for customers, and I help them what we call brain picking sessions. They just have access to me for an afternoon. They can ask me questions. They ask me anything, and I'll just help them with the struggles they have. As kind of an extension on training, which is the typical courses.
So what do you see? So is there kind of a typical role of folks that are engaging with you in those questions and training?
Well, mostly it's the GS, the Geo department.
Yep.
Geospatial one. We see a transition to the business intelligence department.
Yep.
So I have classes which are 50-50 Geo and non-Geo. And usually from our own software, the guys who orchestrate and manage the softwares that they own, the municipalities, and just answer questions either from citizens or helping their own enterprise get to the next level.
And so are there any trends that you're hearing questions directionally coming from? Are you hearing kind of repeatable questions? I mean, what are people asking?
Well, one of the things that's changing really rapidly is back in the day, everybody had their on-premise solution.
Right.
So you go, we build our own software, we go to the customer, we install it on their machines, and the database is their database. There's a shift towards cloud-based solutions, so our software runs in the cloud, and all of a sudden, the customer doesn't have access to their database because it's our database. So municipalities and other companies, they have to connect with APIs rather than to databases. And they're familiar with databases, but they have no clue how APIs work. So that's some trends that I see, that they keep asking me questions like, hey, I got this new supplier, he gave me an API, how can I get my data? That's a hot topic.
Interesting. And Marie-Rosanne, are you seeing the same types of things with the customers that you're working with? I mean, what are you finding they're asking about? Where are they asking for help? Where are they asking to kind of advance?
Well, the technical questions, I just sent them to Oscar.
Well,
but I'm more talking about, for example, when they start using FME or maybe FME server, we help them installing, configuring, and also just help them. We can help them from beginning to start. And then when we're kind of finished, the customer has to do it on their own.
yeah.
But then I go to them and I ask them, what do you need? Is it what you like? Do you need something else from us? Can we help you with something? So I'm trying to talk to them how we can make them better.
Sure.
And what we can do for them.
So I'm curious about that. So when you have that conversation, so you've sold them the licenses and they're ready to go off and be famous.
Yeah.
But you do ask that question. Is
Yeah.
there anything more we can do to help?
Yeah.
How often? I mean, what are the kind of, what's the ratio of response that says no, we're going to need some help? I mean, do you find that most people are emboldened to go off and just kind of self-serve, or?
No, they really need some help sometimes, because sometimes they just need some inspiration.
Yeah.
So they have a certain project where they need FME server, and then they finish the product, and then they're like, oh yeah, and what are we going to do now? For example, I give presentations with some other stories from other customers, what they are doing, and try to inspire them to do more. They do have the application now, so use it, do something with it. And well, then they are talking to each other. Oh yeah, maybe we can use it for that, or we can use it for that. And sometimes they say, oh yeah, now we can go on. And a lot of times they say, oh, can someone help us, because we don't have the time to do it ourselves, or we find it difficult. And what's very important for us is that we don't build anything and just give it to the customer. We always try to, well, in this case, for example, Oscar, he's going to build it, but he's going to do it together with the customer. So he knows what we are building and why we are building it that way, and he learns.
So, last question, and I'll ask you, Oscar. What piece of advice would you give to somebody who's going to try to step up to bringing in FME? What would you suggest they think about before implementing, or what would you suggest they? I mean, would it be bringing in the right people in the organization? Would it be coming up with kind of a first project? I mean, what would you offer for advice?
Well, what we see the challenge with data integration is knowing what you want to integrate. So if there's one department who already kind of has a problem, we'll go from there, but explain to them FME can use the whole enterprise. And I advise them to get that cross-department collaboration, figure out what the needs are from other data departments, because geospatial data people, they know FME. It's kind of the only tool. Other departments like the BI, they don't really know. So I encourage them to have people together, maybe even get like a data manager within the organization, kind of has a pilot view of all the data, so that they can actually use FME not just in that small niche little island of the geo people, but to get it to everybody. And then we have the cases, the success stories, like, hey, this is a task some other municipality already did. That could be a start for you. But usually they come to us with already a question of, hey, we have this thing we need to fix, or we try to solve. And then that's my technical, okay, we can do that. But do you know you can also add it with this, or look at that, or hey, this municipality already did it. I'll just get you in touch with them.
Well, that's great. We want to thank you very much for coming by.
Sure.
Appreciate your time and your thoughts. Hope you have a great rest of the show and a great rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thanks.